How about this one from Hoop Ninja? Hoop Ninja, man, they're good. I like the questions Hoop Ninja brings. Who's the most underrated commit in this class, and when will the Rivals rankings be updated?
Well, that's a great question because I think there's a lot of kids in the class that are underrated. A lot of kids that didn't get a chance to get seen, during the spring and the Rivals rankings. I think the update's coming out actually next week. But I think the toughest thing for the Rivals team to do is, there still hasn't been any evaluations. And I know we've talked about how this big recruiting updates or big rankings update is going to come, but there really hasn't been anything to evaluate on. And I think a lot of these analysts are still kind of hesitant to move a guy up or move a guy down because they want to see him a little bit more. They want to see him this fall. As long as high school football happens, there's a lot of analysts who want to go out and evaluate kids. But I think when you're talking about most underrated, you have to look at DeVonta Smith. 3-star cornerback out of Cincinnati. From what I've heard from different people that I trust, he's one of Alabama's top 5 defensive back prospects in the entire country. I think Alabama is extremely high on him, and they really like him a lot. Feel like he's a big time impact player. Another 3-star in this recruiting class that I really like a lot is Kadarius Calloway. He's 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, runs a 4.50 40. Had an unbelievable junior season. Had just under 1,000 yards receiving, but had 11 interceptions on defense. Mississippi, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but all their top players usually get ranked in December, or in January when the final rankings update comes out, because you finally get a chance to see them at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. A lot of analysts don't go into Mississippi, evaluate these kids, and I think they do maybe once or twice a year, but they're not in there every single week or every single day like they are in the state of Georgia or Alabama or Louisiana or wherever it may be. Mississippi just kind of gets bypassed for some reason or another. But I think Kadarius Calloway certainly has a chance to move up in the rankings over the course, maybe not next week, but certainly in the course of the next 6 months.
All right, good stuff, Hoop Ninja. Thank you so much for all your questions tonight. How about this one? Bone, any other players on Flip Watch as we look forward to the end of Alabama's really dynamic class? Who are some other guys that you're kind of watching, especially with everything that's going on in college football? Who are some other guys on potential Flip Watch as we move towards the middle of August?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Alabama didn't get another flip. I think there was maybe 7 guys in last year's recruiting class who either flipped or were once committed elsewhere. Now, it may be a situation where we might see a kid reopen his recruitment and then commit to Alabama, kind of like what we saw with DeVonta Smith, a couple of, or I guess about a month ago. Kadarius Calloway flipping from Mississippi State, but several guys that are still out there that have Alabama high on their list. I guess on the offensive side of the ball, you first have to look at the quarterback position with Luke Altmaier and Jalen Milroe. Alabama would love to flip one of those guys at some point. On the defensive line, Tyreek Sapp, currently committed to Florida, certainly a guy that Alabama's pressing for, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens at the linebacker position at the defensive end position, because there's so many defensive end targets who are out there. Chimise Adelie decommitted from Ohio State today. Tyreek Sapp has Alabama in his top 5, but is committed to Florida right now. I think Alabama's going to have a shot with him. He plays at St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale, teammates with Dallas Turner, Corey Foreman, JT Tuamola, Shamar Turner, Chambry Jackson. So many defensive ends. You got to think they're going to get at least 2 more. I do think I'm predicting they end up getting Monkel Goodwine this weekend, but I think they'll end up getting 2 more even after him. So a lot of guys out there, including Tyreek Sapp. And those are kind of the main flip targets that we're keeping a close eye on as of right now.
All right, good stuff, Bone. We got Chris checking in from Hawaii. What's up, Chris? I haven't heard from you in a little while, buddy. So thank you for checking in. I know that we have a great following from Hawaii. So thank you so much for joining in tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think. Oh, how about this one too? Canada. What's up? Our friendly neighbor to the north, Canada. What's up? We see you. Thank you so much for joining us, Zach. Bone, I mean, has Alabama, when you look at the class of 2021, and by the way, post your recruiting questions inside the comment box. We'll be here for a little bit longer. So if you have a question, don't be afraid to ask it. We'll put it on the show, and I'll ask Bone. As we look at this class, Alabama's on the verge of landing 2 more commitments, possibly this weekend. Is there a certain position of need as we round out this class of 2021?
Well, I think if you're looking at on the offense side of the ball, I mean, they've met some key needs there in terms of getting a great group of wide receivers. Still trying to get another one. A great group of offensive linemen. Still trying to get another one. But getting a tight end on board, I think, is very important. They certainly want to add one. Getting a quarterback on board, they certainly want to add one of those as well. Is this going to be a year where Alabama doesn't sign a running back? Very possible after signing 3 running backs in last year's class. There's still a lot of really good defensive ends out there. I mean, Alabama, in my opinion, wants to sign at least 3 defensive ends, and they don't have any currently committed. There's Monco Godwin's committing on Saturday. Will he commit to Alabama? We'll all find out then. And if he commits, I still think Alabama is going to try to sign at least 2 more. Defensive back wise, still trying to add a couple more elite corners to this class. Can they get Kyrie Jackson on board this weekend? Can they get Kool-Aid or Terrion Arnold on board? Remains to be seen, but I certainly think those are the primary positions that they're recruiting.
All right. I just wanted to post Anthony's question on the board. He had asked a question. I think you covered it, but I didn't want to I just wanted, no hard feelings, Anthony. There's a lot of comments on there, so no hard feelings, buddy. But I think Bone took care of you.